There's like two kind of frame of minds when you're like a young rapper starting out. And I know it's changed throughout the years, obviously with social media, but one of the sides is like, let me push my music out there. Let me find an interested buyer in my thing, a label, chase the label. But I feel like in the last handful of years, we're seeing like this kind of massive independent push at the same time to where people are kind of saying, well, I could go that route, but I could have a lot more control over myself in the things that I do if I do the independent route, and it could look multiple different ways. Is there a benefit to one or the other right now in like 2026?
Somebody has to have some money.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're going the independent route or if you're going to get signed. Somebody on the team has to have some kind of money, because your talent is only going to take you so far. And then once it's time to get to certain stages or to get in certain rooms or to get certain things handled, it's going to take some dividends to make certain things happen.
Sure.
It does sound good saying, I'm an independent artist, I want to do it the independent route, but you're going to have to find a sponsor to make some things happen. You can't get on the radio for free.
Right.
You can't get on these on these
playlists.
It's not free. Nothing is free.
Yeah.
Your talent gets you so far. So I just feel like at the end of the day, somebody has to have some type of dividends, and you have to have some type of plan to get out of the situation. If you truly want to be independent, you're going to have to figure out ways to make some money off of your shows and off of your merch, and to generate some type of revenue so you can handle and pay for some things yourself.
Sure. Yes. Obviously. Right. You need somebody that has money, even if you're generating it your own. You have like your own team, if you will, or however you're pushing that. But I would make the argument that it's almost foolish to chase a label deal, because the likelihood that, number one, you're going to, like, everybody wants virality. What are you going to do after the virality? And label deals nowadays they're just looking for people that are already successful.
Yeah.
And then they want to strap their name to them. So realistically, you're having to do the independent thing anyways.
Yeah.
And then you have to decide, well, do I want to take it from here to here with that extra backing with the people that already have the money, or do I want to slowly generate and build that up myself? But to your point, somebody's got to have money to take it from this point to this point, or you have to slowly build it yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
And a team does help. A team helps any organization that exists. So having those teammates that can do this legwork for you, make these phone calls happen, turn in these favors, all of that helps chip down the goal that you're trying to get to, chipping away, where everything doesn't rely on money, because a lot of things is built off who you know as well. And favor. So so everything is not going to be based off of cash flow, but some things are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just having that team just makes things a lot better.
Yeah.
I kind of see this two different ways. So like, you have a unique situation because you're an owner operator and you're an entertainer, rapper / MC, but they're separate but combined. So like, say you stop rapping today, you still have a successful brand that it doesn't matter that you ain't rapping no more. You've done the legwork that's going to stand on its own, right? And you're a successful artist as well. Whereas like I see like the rapper CEO compromise type of situation. The other side of it are rappers that their whole business is rap. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if this ain't working out, then nothing's working out. You can balance both of them, because it doesn't matter what happens. You're still going to stay afloat. It's not that this has to work or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
It's very interesting, because I feel like on your journey, if you're very, very passionate about what you do, you will accidentally fall into other good things. All right. So along the path of doing music, when I was with Monkey Boy, I seen with like, we would always like throw slogans on our shirts and shit back in the day. We was Tiki Hut Warriors. We would tear.
Yeah.
They generate a lot of revenue from us. We would go in there and put MBE and then free our guys on the back, long ass slogans on the back, then go perform in it. So over the time, then people would be like, "Hey, grab me a shirt as well." So then from there, you would start doing your own T-shirts. And
yes, realizing.
like, okay, he would get one from me. He would get one from me. I would end up not having to pay for mine. Then I might have some extras. You know what? I probably could do this more often. And then they had a CD, a big ass CD burner in there. And this was the era I've always made money off my own hustle hand.
Sure.
And this where we used to sell mixtapes. And that gave me the motivation to burn my shit up and get out here and go generate some revenue myself. After the club, I don't know. It's just like the things that I've seen have inspired the things that I got going on right now. So,
well, I think that's a different. You had that mentality of actual hustling on top of being an artist. Like, I think this is where some people get lost in the sauce, if you will. Is they just think I'm dope. I'm a good rapper. That should be enough. And in 2026, that's not enough.
That's never been enough, though.
Honestly, it really hasn't. You know, especially if you're talking about outside of the major label system, where you don't have somebody trying to clear your samples and push your songs, and you're paying for all that anyway eventually. So it's like either you take the slow burn and, you know, okay, I'm going to print up this many CDs, I'm going to sell them hand to hand, and then I got this many T-shirts, and this is going to pay for the CD. You know, there's a whole, you know, way of doing things.
Science.
But you know what? It's not for the person who just wants to post links on other people's pages and think, okay, well, now I'm gonna be famous now.
Well, in a lot of time, people compare their self or their talents to the things they see on YouTube or hear on the radio, and like, dude, I can do that, or dude, I'm as talented. But your market wasn't as talented as their market. It wasn't as easy to just be talented. Like, this ain't Chicago, this ain't New York, this ain't in California, nor is it Florida, where you can accidentally bump into somebody who can just change your life overnight because you're talented. This is not that market. So you're going to have to put in, the work looks different if you're going to do it in this market. And doing it in this market, I learned on my journey to generate some revenue by doing some other things as well. I need you to pay me to come do this show. I need some money for this verse, and I need some money for this merch. And I'm going to put my all into it, and fuck with me.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah. So do you think that one is more important than the other as far as being an artist and having a brand that's successful? Do you think that without one or the other, one wouldn't make it at all?
If I didn't have the brand, I would have to go even harder just with the music. Yeah. Like, because it's like, how am I going to generate some revenue? It's not that many ways for artists to get off like that. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like it's always better for a lot of artists to be popping at one time, because then it's easier for people to accept certain shit. You know what I mean? Like, instead of it just being only a couple people, like when it's like shit is popping, like it, then people like, I mean, that's what we do, right? We support this type of music. Oh, that's what we do, right? We buy merch. Oh, that's what we do, right? We go out and clap when people perform. Yeah. Like, when it's not enough, it's like people are out here guessing and trying to figure out how to make shit happen.
Yeah. Nah, I believe that. I also feel like you are kind of like a blueprint, though, as far as what to do. Like, I don't think nobody's going to be able to do it exactly like you do it, but for somebody to have a successful merch line and successful rapping and known, it's kind of like, I understand if people kind of look up to you as far as this is what I aspire to do, even if I don't have a shop or whatever, but like the way you move and way it's connected, it all makes sense. So like, yeah, I give you kudos on that.
It's a lot of people doing it in other locations, even if they're not artists, like rappers, but I'm inspired by like Black Owned in Cincinnati, or Geek in Chicago, or it's like a lot of different brands that are showing me you can have longevity with selling garments.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Nipsey. I remember going to his shop before they owned damn near the whole plaza. His dad was in there working. I went out there with Sammy G. No, I went out there for All-Star Weekend. This the NBA dunk contest when Blake jumped over the car.
Oh, wow.
I seen that live. So I was out there with Monkey Boy. They ended up leaving like a day before me. So I was out in Kelly by myself. But my dude Sammy G was out there and we went around town. He took me to Nipsey shop and his dad was in there working. And like, I already knew who he was. I already was rocking with him then, but just to see how he grew from that with his brother and just to like, that shit was so inspiring. And it's just like, oh yeah, you can do it. I seen this store. It didn't look no better than Lafayette Square, right where I was at. So yeah, I can do it. Yeah. And I just did it. Yeah. I just take inspiration from little nuggets here, nuggets there, and try to make it happen.
I do feel too like when you're like the conversation about like compromising art and all that stuff, but like when you're an artist and you have a separate thing that you do, they kind of go hand in hand. You know, like people gonna mess with you simply based upon because they rock with your music, and they're gonna check out your music because they rock with your brand, and then it kind of feeds itself. And it's the same thing with stuff that I do in the same thing. You know, it's like it's kind of a symbiotic relationship.
You're 100% correct. And then sometimes people get it twisted as well, though, because they think I'm more into my clothing than I am into the music, and it's not that actually. But I do get paid off selling merch every day.
Okay,
that's for sure.
Like, and I don't get paid for features every day. I don't get paid to go do a rap show every day.
Yeah,
but I get paid from selling merch every day. Yeah. So naturally, that is going to accidentally get prioritized.
Sure. Or it's gonna look as more valuable to people.
That part.
You know,
it's
because
like it. Yep.
People knew me because I ran Bringing Down the Band for a long time. I've never stopped being an artist. I got 4 projects I'm working on right now. You know what I mean? Like, and sure, I teach and things of that nature, but like, it's always there. It's just that, like you said, it's like other things take precedent. And what I found is that what people want out of me sometimes differs from like what I want to do and what I want for other people.
It's a bar.
And sometimes it's important to cater to that because it's important. You know what I mean? It's how you give back to other people at the same time too, you know? So, there's another question here, but I don't know if we need to go into it. It says, does the weight of building an empire after the creative output, leaving us with better businessmen, but worse music? If we start off as like creative artists and we want to put this great art into the world, but then we realize, all right, cool, I need to make money this way. I need to do this thing over here. Does that in return give us worse music from the person that we, liked in that aspect? Do you think that there's more of a push pull on that? I mean, I think it could be, it just depends on how it is, I guess, but
I think we have so many examples now of, MCs who start off purely as MCs who become businessmen, especially as they've gotten older. I mean, there's a delicate balance. When we look at Nas's output in the last few years, here's somebody who has a whole venture capitalist situation going on, but has still found a way to do 6 albums with Hit Boy and 1 with Premier,
and he's body slamming that shit.
Then the whole thing that with Mass Appeal, where it is his artistic endeavors that are maintaining his legacy, if you will. But there are some people where I'm like, we're never going to hear from them again, or we're going to hear from them very rarely. I mean, even when you took somebody like Rick Ross, he still does music, but I know, just like you said, you make money from merch every day. He makes money from his restaurants every day, so that's, he probably makes as much money from all of those particular with Checkers or Wingstop or whatever he has. He's able to see that money come in every single day, and I think that
probably just depends on the person. And the artist,
it depends on the artist. I just think that, I think it's, first of all, I think it's great that so many people have been able to see, okay, I can do this for so long, or I can make so much money here. What if I take this to the next level so I can actually generate generational wealth?
Yeah.
So I can't be mad at it. But I do think that, I don't think Jay-Z has enough time to make another album.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sometimes I don't think people appreciate the phases we get of human beings sometimes. It's like people be wanting people to be stuck in a certain phase, but I outgrew that, and that's a part of growth and maturing and things of that nature. We got Nas with the chip tooth era, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then Nas went to making movies, and then like he's kept growing and growing in his trajectory that he was on. We weren't going to always catch him in that same phase of life. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I get that a lot of times people might want this version of Antonio Maxie, or damn, when you going to drop music like this again? Or, well, I've kind of outgrown it. I mean, I think I had a kid since then too. And then I think I had another kid. And then I think I got married since then too, bro. Yeah. So I kind of met new people in life, and I'm in some new rooms, and I'm inspired by other things. And so sometimes the growth, but sometimes that shit works against you too. Where people like, bro, you changed too much, man. I don't like that shit at all, So I guess
but that's for other people to figure out. Realistically,
you kind of appease everybody. You know what I'm saying? I think what is a common denominator in all of this, like you speaking to Nas, you speaking to yourself. I feel like it's good to change as long as the product that you're putting out is still solid.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Nas ain't missed a beat, whether it was Young Tone back in the day or, Maxie now. I feel like Maxie is a much better rapper than Tone was. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Tone was like more, animated, more party style rap. But I feel like who you became is better than it was then. Nas is the same way. Like I love Nas from the beginning to the end, but he was able to mature and embrace where he was in life and still put out good product.
Yeah.
I think that's what matters at the end of the day. As long as it's still good, it don't really matter.
Same with you mentioned Nipsey. I mean, the album that he dropped right before he passed was a spectacular album.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It's still doesn't have a skip on it.
That motherfucker was incredible.
Yes.
But at the same time, he was running his corner, like his, the shop, and so like he's a good example of it. Killer Mike is another good example of it with the barbershops. There's lots of people. There's lots of good examples of this. I think it's sometimes, to your point, it's like I think us as humans sometimes we just like to, for the ease of our own mind, we like to put things in categories and boxes. Just because it's easiest for us to process and be like, this is who this person is. It's easy for me to do that. And in general, like we're categorical just by nature.
Good point.
And sometimes it's hard for people once they put you in a little category to, all right, man, that means I got to take them out and put them over here. That means I got to learn a whole new person.
And I think it's because hip hop, we are seeing things that we've never seen before in hip hop. Like the new Old Heads, that is the perfect example. Like, hip hop is like R&B music now and rock and roll, where you get to live on forever. That was only in different genres where you can live on forever and be booked until you 80 and croak and things of that nature. Now we seeing hip hop in a new light. So when we see new things, sometimes people don't know how to. They don't know how to digest it. You know what I'm saying?
It's too new.
It's so fresh.
Yeah,
and it's the dynamic of like, one of the things is like, oh, why don't we treat our artists like the Rolling Stones or whatever? And I was like, well, we do now. We really do now.
Yeah.
And I think we need to retire that argument about how we don't treat our artists a certain way, because now it's probably easier for me to book if I'm a promoter, if I want to book Rakim, MC Light and Big Daddy Kane, I have a better chance of making my money back than if I book Flavor of the Month that's on your iHeart or Radio 1 station, who's got the hot 5 at 5 or whatever. By the time
they got 1 million Spotify plays, but nobody comes out to see them.
Yeah, exactly. So by the time, I book them six weeks in advance. By the time they get here,
they on to the next.
The vibe is off. You know what I'm saying?
You got one song you can perform.
But if I know
that's the nature of it right now, though.
Yeah.
Rakim or Big Daddy Kane or whoever is going to come, people know those, and plus that the people who like those artists, they got money because they're older. They got the disposable income. You know, so that's why you see these people come to the large arenas.
Yeah, that's why we see DJ Gino and them booking them.
Yeah, and so like there are people who don't have and put out a new song and I don't know how long, and they got an arena tour. You know, and so that's the difference.
It fills me with joy to see that, because you earn that right to live off of your art for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
you earned that. So go flourish.
No, absolutely.
Yes.